Thursday, July 14th, 2021. Let's rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scaringi, Councilwoman Riley, Councilwoman Friedman,
Present.
Councilman Burns, Present. Councilman Strawn,
Present.
Councilman Scanlon,
Present.
President Rezanetti.
Present.
All right, that's 5 here, 2 absent, Scaringi and Riley.
Okay, so before we begin, we have some required notifications. Please note that the City Council abides by New York State and the CDC's requirement that unvaccinated individuals continue to wear masks indoors and remain at a 6-foot social distance, which includes in City Hall and at public hearings like this one. If you are vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask during this public meeting or be socially distanced. However, if you appear ill or present any COVID-19 symptoms, staff might ask you to leave, distance, or wear a mask regardless of your vaccination status. This meeting is being recorded with audio and video. Members of the public can attend in person. Okay, so now we will move on to approval of the minutes. Councilman Strawn.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask Council for unanimous approval of the minutes from the July 14th, 2021 business meeting.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to public comment. City residents are welcome to speak. You'll each have 5 minutes to discuss city issues. I ask you to please be respectful. Janine, could you please let everyone know how they can participate?
Anyone willing to participate in public comment can come up to the podium right here, sign in, state your full name and address for the record.
My name is John Solak. I live in the city of Binghamton. Jared Cram claims that he's deputy mayor of the city of Binghamton. There's a problem. There is no such public office. There is no such appointed office as deputy mayor in the city of Binghamton. Now, most of you know that when the mayor is out of town, the president of city council is the mayor. This is not a question of nitpicking or semantics. This is a very real issue. This city and this county have seen terrible tragedies when public officers happen to be out of town. This very state office building had a fire. County executive was in Washington, D.C., Carl Young. But there was no problem on the county level, you see, because there's an office called Assistant County Executive by charter. There was no problem there at all. Jim Lee was the Assistant County Executive. He phoned Carl Young in New York. He handled things as he should have here. When Mayor Burns went out of town, Jack Cale, who was the president of City Council, and he's still around and you can talk to him about it, he was sworn in as mayor. Barbara Fiala was out of town when the big floods came. She could have been here. She was in Italy. She made a Mississippi riverboat gamble, if you don't mind the pun. She decided to stay in Italy. Well, you know what happened. But again, on the county level, there's an assistant county executive. Now, Mr. Cram's talked to CNN, he's talked to other media, and has identified himself as deputy mayor. He's executive assistant to this mayor. That's how he's paid. Now, don't you think if there was an office of the city, deputy mayor in the city of Binghamton, it would be in the charter and code? There would be a paper trail. Don't you think if he was deputy mayor, he would be sworn in as a public officer? There'd be an oath of office card. Don't you think that? So I'm very concerned about this because this is a complete fraud. Now, it dates back to Mr. Abdelazim. It dates back to Rich David. Rich David called himself deputy mayor. There's one other reference to Juanita Crabb, somebody claiming to be deputy mayor. But that guy never ran for anything. See, it's one thing for somebody to to claim they're deputy mayor and then run for mayor like they were the vice president or something. You get my drift? Sort of, that's their bona fides. They were deputy mayor. The problem is with that office, it doesn't exist. The guy's a fraud. Anybody that claims that they were deputy mayor of the city of Binghamton is committed a fraud. And I don't care whether it's Jared Cram, Rich David, or Tarek Abdelazim. It's a fraud. You can't get out of it by saying it's a colloquial thing. Oh, that's what it's referred to. It's only been referred to by Mayor David, by Tarek Abdelazim, by Jared Cram as deputy mayor of the city of Binghamton. Now, Mrs. Resinetti should be concerned about this. The mayor was out of town in Orlando. Were you notified? Were you on duty? Were you even in town? I wrote you an email. You could have said, I'm here. If anything happens, I'll be here. You didn't. So, do you take your job seriously? Do you take a succession, an orderly succession seriously? You take the city charter seriously? You take fraud seriously? Do you think if an employee put that they were deputy of something, exaggerated their title? But this guy has got no title in the city of Binghamton. He's signing documents as deputy mayor. He's got a letterhead that says he's deputy mayor. The hell's going on? He's not deputy mayor. Now, either create the office of deputy mayor and swear him in and put it in the charter and code and do what you have to do, or assert your rightful authority. And that means a complete clampdown on this idiotic fraud. It's a misrepresentation. He's not deputy mayor. There is no office of deputy mayor. How many times do you want me to say it? And if he is deputy mayor, prove it. Because I've got a freedom of information request for all these items that I'm asking for. The enabling legislation, the reference to the charter and code, his oath of office card. You know what? This is sloppy work. You know, this can come back to haunt somebody. Some city employee, a deputy mayor told me to do it. The problem is there's no deputy mayor. He doesn't have any authority. So you better clean this up. We better get this city operating on a level that is at least honest. At least honest. And it's not honest. It's dishonest. We can't have this. And you should be ashamed of yourself for allowing it. There is no deputy mayor in the city of Binghamton. There is no paycheck going to the deputy mayor of the city of Binghamton. Jared Cram is not the deputy mayor of the city of Binghamton. He has committed fraud numerous times. He's signing documents under the name of deputy mayor. He's talking to people
5 minutes are up.
and identifying himself as deputy mayor. Stop him.
Do we have any other speakers?
Hi, my name is Tarek Abdelazim, Tremont Avenue in Binghamton, former deputy mayor of Binghamton. I'm here again to just, I can't emphasize enough how frustrating it is to see the mayor propose a sweep of $6.2 million from flexible recovery funds that should be going to small business owners, workers, homeowners, tenants, to the city's general reserve. After listening for 7 years about his financial wizardry, the finances of the city being the strongest they've ever been, thank you to the prior administration for setting that stage. Now he's taking unprecedented flexible recovery dollars, and we are going to see whether your loyalty as lapdogs is stronger than your loyalty as public servants. The difference between last year and the year before, according to the comptroller's analysis, is just over 3.5 million. But you're taking 6.2 million of this $46 million flexible recovery award to sweep into the general fund, which gives him discretion to use it, as he always has, for politically motivated projects to enhance his capital, which is even more precarious and questionable now that we know that he's running for office. $3.5 million is the difference. You're taking another 2.7 million because of an artificial 4.1 increase. And I'm not suggesting that the comptroller did anything contrary to the guidelines by the Treasury. I'm sure he looked at it very closely. You're all looking at hiring a firm to assist with that, but it's not necessary. I want to just very quickly look at some things, analysis that was done during the reimagining police reform. Talking about what could 1.2 million do? Well, it could provide free internet services for the entire school year to 2,400 households with kids to ensure equity. That's 1.2 million. Y'all are sweeping almost 3 million. For 1.2 million, you could pay for 1,666 households to participate in our local farm share program to provide food security and justice. That's just 1.2 million. You're sweeping almost 3 million for his political slush fund. For 1.2 million, you can create 300 more summer jobs. And following the guidelines of the Treasury with a focus on those populations that were most impacted by the pandemic and had been disproportionately impacted by decades of unjust housing, finance, neighborhood, land use policies, you could prioritize Black and brown youth to expand access to opportunity. That's just 1.2 million. You're sweeping almost $3 million extra into Mayor David's political slush fund when the city's finances are so strong. You could provide $200 monthly rent vouchers for a year for 500 households to prevent displacement, housing insecurity, which you know impacts educational attainment, public health, even mental health. That's just 1.2 million. You're sweeping almost $3 million into the mayor's political slush fund. It is incredibly reckless and irresponsible. If you hear me, and I know you do, but if you see me because I'm Tarek Abdelism and you don't do it, that's absolutely disgraceful. Rise above your petty partisan egos and do what's right for this community. Please, just show us once that you can do that. Thank you.
Would anyone like to pull anything for the preferred agenda before we move forward?
Yes, I'd like to pull Introductory Resolution 21-56 from the preferred agenda, please.
Janine, can you please introduce the preferred agenda items?
Okay, first up is introductory ordinance 21-67, considered in finance. This is an ordinance to amend the 2021 mayor budget to allocate American Rescue Plan Act funds for additional COVID expenses.
Any questions or discussion? Next.
Okay, next is introductory resolution 21-54, considered in planning. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the YMCA of Broome County for use of CVY 46 funds and HVAC improvements.
Any discussion? Next.
Next is introductory resolution 21-55, considered in planning. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with various agencies for use of CVY 46 funds for homeless emergency solutions grants. Next is introductory resolution 21-57, considered in planning. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the First Ward Action Council for use of CVY 46 funds to support affordable housing development. Next is introductory resolution 21-58, considered in planning. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Broome County Council of Churches for use of CVY 46 funds to support food pantry programs. Next is introductory resolution 21-59, considered in planning. a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Witham Planning and Design for the 2021 landscape architecture term agreement. Okay, the last one on the preferred agenda is the introductory resolution 21-60, considered in finance, a resolution authorizing the city of Binghamton to accept a donation from SUNY Broome Community College for an ATV patient stretcher. All right, Councilman Scringy is absent, Councilwoman Riley is absent, Councilwoman Freeman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon,
Aye.
President Resonetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 2 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Moving on now to our non-preferred agenda, and we'll start with the introductory resolution 1256, considered in planning. Councilman Strong.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of Introductory Resolution 21-56, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the United Way of Broome County for use of CBY 46 funds for marketing of the A211.
Any discussion? Oh, we need a second, right?
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you, Madam President. So the reason why I pulled this from the preferred agenda is just, I'm hesitant. I'm not against this. I hesitate because when this was presented at the work session, a question was raised: does money that's invested into marketing the 211 helpline, does it have a good return on investment? And that question has not yet been answered. I reached out to Steve Carson, who said that he did not yet have the answer to this. And $50,000 is obviously a lot of money. I know that 211 receives many calls and it's a wonderful service. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you all say, given the fact that we don't have data to support that this is an appropriate use or the most beneficial use of this money to market the program. I wonder if that could be used for something else. I don't know. I'm genuinely curious to hear how you all feel about that.
Well, Madam President, I know that the 211 is going to be crucial when the foreclosure moratorium. Hoping that people like us try to have
Any other discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent, Councilwoman Riley is absent, Councilwoman Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn,
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon,
Aye.
President Resonetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 5 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Thank you. We have introductory ordinance 21-66.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory ordinance 21-66, an ordinance to amend the 2021 joint sewer project budget for personnel and professional services.
Any discussion?
Does that need a second?
Oh.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? No? Roll call, please.
Call the question.
Question to call. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent, Councilwoman Riley is absent, Councilwoman Friedman,
Aye.
Councilman Burns,
Aye.
Councilman Strawn.
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon,
Aye.
President Rezzanetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 5 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Next item is introductory ordinance 21-68, considered in finance. Councilman Strawn.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory ordinance 21-68, an ordinance to amend the 2021 HUD admin and housing budget to allocate American Rescue Plan Act funds, development of affordable housing units by greater opportunities of room in Shenango.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Call the question, Madam President?
Question call. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilwoman Friedman.
Aye.
Councilman Burns.
Aye.
Councilman Strawn.
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon.
Aye.
President Rezzanetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 5 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Next item is introductory ordinance 21-69, considered in finance. Councilman Strawn.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory ordinance 21-69, an ordinance to amend the 2021 general fund and capital budget to allocate American Rescue Plan Act funds for council chambers, ceiling, and roof repairs and replacement.
Second that.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Madam President. This piece of legislation, I know we were discussing, Councilwoman Riley, she's not here right now, but she had brought up some points some concerns that I thought were valid, that I understand that this application of these funds, while it does technically fit the description, I have not talked to a single one of my constituents who wanted any significant amount of the ARPA money to be spent on infrastructure. All I heard over and over and over again was housing. And so this is a significant chunk of money that is going to a project that was started before COVID. And again, I understand that technically this money can apply because amending, fixing the roof in the council chambers would allow for a larger space. But, and while that space is, I think, more appropriate for meetings than this, I think that IT and, everybody has done a great job of making this space workable for now. So I hesitate to allocate such a large amount of money to to an area where I have not heard any support from my constituents. So that's my concern with this. Although I am excited for the chamber ceiling to be fixed so that we can get back in there as soon as possible. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Call the question, Madam President? I'm sorry, Madam President. Wondering if we could hold this over. I mean,
I'll second Councilman Burns's motion to hold this over.
schedule that, not tomorrow, so that
make sure that we're not getting false information or guidance from our people. You should absolutely have the right to do that. I would like to aim for Monday, if that's possible. So let's schedule Monday, 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to introductory ordinance 21-70, considered for finance. Councilman Strong, I think that's the one, right?
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory ordinance 21-70. An ordinance to amend the 2021 capital budget to transfer funds from the general fund balance to the new fire station.
Second.
Any discussion?
Call the question, Madam
Question to
President?
call? Roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilwoman Friedman.
Aye.
Councilman Burns.
Aye.
Councilman Strawn.
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon.
Aye.
President Resonetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 5 ayes and 0 nays, 2 absent.
Thank you. Next item is introductory resolution 21-61, considered in the Public Works and Parks Committee. Councilman Scanlon.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to ask for unanimous consideration of introductory resolution 21-61. Resolution,
Second. Oh, sorry.
sorry. A resolution authorizing the city of Binghamton to accept a donation of labor from Fresh Coat 607 for the repair and painting of the Rod Serling bandstand.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilwoman Friedman.
Aye.
Councilman Burns.
Aye.
Councilman Strawn.
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon.
Aye.
President Resonetti.
Aye.
All right, that's 5 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Okay, next item is introductory resolution 21-62, considered in finance. Councilman Strong.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory resolution 21-62. A resolution authorizing the mayor to amend an agreement with Greater Opportunities of Broome and Shenango for use of FY4, FY45, FY46 in home CHDO funding for rehabilitation of 4 North Side properties.
Second.
Any discussion?
Call the question, Madam President.
Motion to call. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilwoman Friedman.
Aye.
Councilman Burns.
Aye.
Councilman Strawn.
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon.
Aye.
President Resonetti.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Our last item tonight is introductory resolution 21-62, considered in planning. Councilman Strong.
63, right?
Yes, 63.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask council for unanimous consideration of introductory resolution 21-63, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into supplemental agreement number 2 with Keystone Associates, Architects, Engineers, and Surveyors, LLC, for additional geotechnical services and a topographic survey for the new fire station.
Second.
Any discussion?
Call the question, Madam President.
Motion to call. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scringy is absent. Councilwoman Riley is absent. Councilwoman Friedman.
Aye.
Councilman Burns.
Aye.
Councilman Strawn.
Aye.
Councilman Scanlon.
Aye.
President Resonetti.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
Thank you. We're going to move on to council member comments. Councilman Riley's not here tonight, so we will move on to Councilman Freeman.
Thank you, Madam President. This is the first meeting I really can't even think of anything that I want to say necessarily, which I guess no news is good news sometimes. Yeah, I'm excited that we're starting to devote funds and start spending the American Rescue Plan money. That's pretty exciting. Besides that, I don't really have anything to report. So
Thank
thank you.
Moving on to Councilman Burns.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Strong.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't have a lot. I just wanted to say, I hope we can continue to move the conversation forward of the, maybe at our next work session or whatever, as to what tangible things we can do to help with the the condition of people's properties, the landlords, the whole situation with the zoning. And we talked about it several weeks ago, and I just want to hope, I'm just hoping that we can move that conversation forward in a tangible way as to what's possible. Maybe we can bring Chris down or have a special session with Chris Slater again. Because I think there's some things that we can do to support code and those efforts to keep properties clean and keep that moving forward. So I just hope we can continue on that track. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Scanlon?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to address the audit performed by the Office of State Comptroller regarding the sewage treatment plant and the funds, the capital project there. The audit was came back completely clean. There was one recommendation, which the city and the Village of John City is already starting. They've already started to do that. So people I should recognize, and these are people that worked in the past there with regard to the financial condition of the plant. Kathy Nelson, Gary Holmes, Ken Del Bianco, and Ed Crum. Just the outstanding work they did to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's were crossed, and the financial condition was came back completely clean. So I'm very happy to hear that, and kudos to all those people I just mentioned. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. And with that, I will say thank you to everybody who was here tonight, our speakers, and ask for motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.